of an apple or raspberry and custard pie for just $4.
Welcome back to the OPL, where the gauntlet is now set. Chiefs through to order. A lot of teams in between. But that was a very close game to clinch it out there.
This is what I was saying before we went into the game. I was saying, like, hey, it's so good that the stakes are so risen now. Because, like, you're part of this. Like, I was sitting next to you watching that game, and he was very loud. I mean, I could hear AV from the other room as well. Everyone was very loud and involved. And it's like, it feels good to be part
I love
of.
that there's so many people, like, very loud, very nervous all at the same time. Because that is exactly what you want. Like, you don't want, like, two teams on, like, top of the table, like, versing bottom of the table for, like, head-to-head to get you in. It was, like, both of these teams in such a close game that was genuinely on a knife edge. Like, going into that, like, second Baron, I think it was, when there's, like, a 5K lead, but the game feels literally dead even. You're just like, I don't know what's going to happen.
And let's be real, like a 5K lead when there's a Rise and a Vladimir on the other team is not the same as a 5K lead when you're just playing, weird 1-3-1 comps. Like, that lead is nearly non-existent at that point, especially given how well Shock played that game. I actually was talking to Rusty before the game today and shouting out Shock. He's certainly one of those players that, from Tectonic, now to Avant Gaming. Yeah. This is the end of Avant's year, but he's the player for me that is so responsible for so many of these players being able to turn it around.
Yeah, 100%, because he's a guy that has, like, had consistent improvement year to year and went through, like, call a spade, like, on Tectonic, like, they just got smashed, literally every single game. Like, he lost every game for a year, and I was having this conversation on the couch, like, a couple of weeks ago when it's like, is this a year of, like, OPL mid laners being back? Because you have some new faces added like Shock. You have all the big names like the Triple, the Ryoma, the Claire, the Swiffer. They're all looking on
Is he top
form.
4?
And it's like, like, where does this guy get put?
Do you put him top 4? Because I did mine today and I put him top 4. I put him 4th.
Okay, what's yours? I think Triple Ryoma,
So
top
I had
2.
the opposite way.
You had
Ryoma
Ryoma Triple. Yeah. And then...
Is that on form, or is that just across the split,
Well, it
though?
depends what you want, right? So
Yeah. If you want going into gauntlet, you want form, right?
Bryce is a very good fan of consistency, of, like, just solid. Like, Bryce likes people that do their job. And Ryoma's the worksman's not 80 carry, mid laner that always does his job right. Whereas Triple, he has some games like he had last game, but then he has some of the flip side games where he goes like 10-1, and I really value, like, X factor in a game. I'm like, Ryoma's one of those guys that if
You're
he
a gambling
unleashes,
man, I get it.
If he unleashes in a best of 5, you can't win the best of 5 because Ryoma's on the other team.
He's on a hot streak.
Yeah. So then who do you have third?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'd have to give it some thought.
Okay.
Fingers.
Thank you. I'm in
Fingers,
there.
close to mid.
So he's in the conversation.
Yeah, well, no, 100%. Because I think it's about one of those situations when it's like top of the ladder. Is it a top 2? Is it a top 3? Like, I don't know. Is it a top what? Like, is there a cutoff?
Right, so
and it's
they're
like,
tiers
is it like a top 2 and then it's like kind of the rest filling out like 3 to 5?
Yep.
Or is it just like we have 5 good guys? But the thing is, it's like, mid for Oceania, if I could say the word, would be great, has always been like mid is already the most difficult role in the game of League of Legends. Like, you have the most to lose. It's the hardest. Like, your matchups are insane.
Yep.
And like, OPL has always had really good mid talent.
So what you're saying is you're not willing to say that Swift is third, or...
Well, I mean, Swiffer had like a real rocky start of the split,
Yeah.
and then like towards the end has found form, and like Shock is at the same. He picked Cho'Gath and like into the game, and then you know what I mean, and then was like the one member that was going to win them that series. So it's like to look at like an entire season and sum it up on recent form, I think is
It's
really
disingenuous,
it's really disingenuous, and like to give it a ranking, I need to give it some thought.
I always like that you're so well thought out when you're talking about players, because I'm not. I shoot from the hip all the time, and then I have to apologize a lot, which I do. People don't realize that. Like, sometimes I say stuff and it's just like absolutely incorrect. I love the video from Winston, by the way, that roasted me last split, and it's still like one of my favorite Oceanic videos of all time.
The Sunday morning from Jake is a lot of very sheepish DMs.
Absolutely it is. Talk to me about Swiffer and Spooks, because this game, Swiffer played the exact same matchup that he played yesterday into Mammoth. He played the Kiana into the Vladimir. Chippy was piloting the Vladimir. The difference this game was it really was Swiffer and Spooks playing mid lane. Like, Spooks just sat behind him the entirety of the early game.
After giving him a little, like, kick in the shins. Like, there was a Raptor contest that Sejuani gets fought out of, and Swiffer loses his flash, gets forced out of lane, and it's like, oh, oh no, this is disastrous territory to be in. Miru was like significantly ahead and it influences the mid 2v2. But then it was like, Sejuani just coming in to push the wave to force that out. It's like ulti ganks. Chippies was definitely not having an easy time in laning phase, and a lot of the pressure from AV, given that Miru was ahead, was thrown at Dream and Jake, whereas Swiffer had the back end of Spooks, and it was much more about like the duo.
Yeah, and unfortunately with the result of that game, that is going to be the end of Avant's year, as I've already said. But this is a team, Bryce, that, you were on a team at the start of the year. Everyone was doing their power rankings. No one had Avant anywhere near the mix. They've come, I think, 4th in a season, but they were top 3. As pointed out on the casting desk, they were in top 2 contention, and they are one of the few teams that is built around young oceanic talent and a revitalized Chippies, it's very fair to say. This is a team that's had a very good year.
Yeah, I think so as well. And like young talent to come in with swagger, I think is a big thing. Like it's very often you see someone like dip their toe in the pool and it's like, yeah, you have the big players. I'm going to come in and just facilitate. But like the start of the year, different roster to the end of the year. But AV has been like the AV style. The like champ select of every AV game. It's like, okay, I don't really know what's going to happen.
Let's roll these dice.
It's just like, like, what is going to happen? And that has been a big part of their success, right? And like ending today certainly sucks to not make the gauntlet, but I think for a bunch of these players, young and old, it has been a real good time.
Yeah, I think they really have put themselves on the map. Now, before we get into the next game, Hingers.
Yes.
Healthy headspace.
Oh,
you told me at the start of the day that you had something really positive to share with our viewers at home.
No, because I've just been really enjoying the OPL's kind of like headspace stuff. They've been doing all the mental health stuff, and I thought it'd be an opportunity to talk about a thing I've been going through recently. I started going to talk to someone recently, a couple of months ago now.
But paying them this time, as opposed to just hustling people on the street.
Listen to me!
What policy should I introduce?
Just accosting people with a microphone. No, and here's a thing that I don't think anyone talks about, but I think is really interesting, right? So what happened to me is I was having some trouble with some people on the line who were saying some racist things towards me, and it was getting me down. So I went to go and see a psychologist about this, and I don't know if you've ever been in therapy. You sort of scroll through the website and you pick a therapist, and all you've got to go on is their picture, really.
And sometimes a short blurb.
Yeah, but and I don't know anything about therapy, so I was scrolling through and I thought, one of the therapists was like an older Chinese woman, and I thought, I'm going to go see her because it's some of the racist stuff I'm trying to deal with. She might get it. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But then what I didn't realize is that when I went to see her the first time is that there's a reptilian part of my brain that sort of won't let me disappoint an old Chinese woman.
I love that you're going into a session about racism.
No, but I know
some ingrained.
Yeah, no, certainly. Thanks, Mum, for that. Right, but that's just in my brain, right? I just can't disappoint.
Okay.
So I started talking to her. She asked me what's wrong, and then I couldn't just tell her everything because I didn't want to feel bad. So I just was like, oh, nothing's wrong, right? And then that was the first week, and then I came back to 3 weeks later or something for a next session, and then we were talking again. I was like, nothing's wrong. And then what I realized is I was keeping this up. I kept this up for like months, probably 6 months or something. And I was
you kept going.
Kept going, because every week
money meat drain.
Every week I was like, no, this is the week I'm gonna tell her the truth, and then I'd just chicken out and be a coward, right? And I was to the point where I was taking notes after leaving therapy about the lies I'd told, so that next week I could study on the way in. And anyway, my point is, I think everyone does this to a little bit. You go to talk to someone and you don't tell them the whole truth. And I realized, as stupid as it sounds, you get nothing out of it. I mean, maybe that's obvious to you. Yeah. But to me, I was like, I'm sure I'm getting something. But then after sort of 6 months, I was like, this hasn't improved me at all. And then I actually opened up to my therapist and told them about stuff and things. And then it was actually very helpful. Anyway, so to anyone out there who's thinking about talking to someone, hot tip from me to you, don't spend 6 months lying to a person you're paying to listen to you talk for an hour. Because it's not particularly helpful. But after that, it was, good stuff.
And how many good sessions have you had now?
I'd say like a dozen or something since then. Something like that, yeah.
And it's working?
It's great. It's great. It's just even just being able to talk through problems with someone who you trust, who's like dispassionate, I guess, is the best word to say about.
No, it doesn't take your side because it's you.
I love someone that you've picked because of the biases. But
yeah.
A therapist's job is to literally present zero biases when you're
going
through
one of the jobs. Yeah, totally. Because you can be like, well, my friend was doing this, or this thing annoyed me, and they're like, well, I mean, maybe you're being a jerk. And you're like, well, are you allowed to be that rude to me? And they're like, yeah, I am. I'm like, well, okay. So it is helpful. That was just something I thought it'd be good to talk about today because of, because the OPL is the thing with headspace and stuff and all the mental health stuff you guys do, which I think is good.
Yeah, and I think that, our fans have already said that this is the biggest issue that they care about, that they deal with. So once again, cannot encourage people enough. If you are going through something, Headspace is a great resource. Go over to the website, check it out. And yeah, try and be a bit more honest than him.
Yeah, look, my mistakes are so that you may not have to go through the things I did.
Exactly
I have a
right.
cautionary tale for you.
He's a trailblazer. He's a trailblazer.
Exactly.
Moral of the story: just don't lie.
Yeah, exactly.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
not just in therapy, just in general in life. Don't be a disingenuous lying person. It's a good thing to be, probably.
All right, cool. We've got another game of League of Legends. It's going to be
Yeah.
Legacy versus Mammoth. Hing, before you scoot,
Yeah,
because you are
I've got to
bailing,
bail, I'm sorry.
give me a tip.
I reckon Legacy's got this one. This one I'm feeling pretty confident about. Let's get in there, boy. I reckon.
DJ Paulie B, you're
Yeah.
currently 1-0. Higgins has the chance to take it out.
Yeah, I could, but
What?
maybe
No,
I'm being...
I actually feel like, you know what I mean? This has to be the game, right? Like standing implications.
You know it doesn't has to be.
No, it doesn't have to be. Like, but like there's a sense of belief, you know what I mean? Like a split culminating in this game right now. It's like, this is absolutely an uphill battle. Topoon is on our screen as well, so Fudge not going to be playing this game. But for Legacy, this is also like the end of the year, the last time they'll play a competitive game, potentially as this unit of 5. So I want to see like fun compositions, people going back to what they're good at, and just literally go out swinging.
Give me the Cled. We're ready for the Macca's champ select.
Yeah, I want the Cled as well. You know, I want to see something come out from Legacy right here.
Sure.
I agree with Bryce. You know, like we've been feeling it for a couple of weeks. It's like it's gotta happen.
I've been feeling it for
It's
too long,
literally
man. It's,
gotta happen.
at this stage, it's either
Even if it doesn't have
inevitable
today,
or-
it's gotta happen.
Yeah, next year maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows at this stage with Legacy? But you're right. Like this is a game that means absolutely nothing, really. At this point, Mammoth probably just going to play pretty standard League of Legends, or they'll do something absurdly different. But we'll have to see that. And, you know, the game that follows this one, it has been decided between Bombers and Chiefs that they're most likely just going to play some whack business. So
Yeah,
who knows
yeah.
if something similar will happen in a game like this?
Yeah, last 2 games of the day, all of the standings have been decided. Nothing can change in the leaderboard. So yeah, we'll see what the teams have for us, what they've been cooking up. And yeah, Legacy will start off with
Well,
Vladimir.
I'm going to say Legacy are playing standard.
Good chance as they ban triple Vladimir. Camille ban towards Legacy.
Yeah.
Azir ban towards Mammoth.
I'm going to say pretty standard League of
They're
Legends.
not spelling anything.
Yeah, that's good and bad, you know?
Yeah, that's true. It's awkward when you start reading it out and then you get to the rest of the word and you can't read the rest of it. That has happened before. Kiana, ban there from Mammoth.
Yeah, another mid laner. Lots of mid laners actually being banned right now in the ban phase here. Makes you wonder what the first pick will go towards. Corki, Azir, both banned. It usually does actually remove the options, and it tends to go away from those mid laners to flex champions.
Oh, go on.
So the likes of an Akali are usually a very good flex pick as a first pick.
Now is the time.
Blind
Release the
picking
Riven. It's definitely a power play. Ah, it's Aatrox. Hey man, if you want to
Back
follow
to
up,
Aatrox.
if you want to, I mean, there's still a chance for it. But if you want to follow up the Red Demons play on Riven that we saw this split, go for it.
Well, he is playing the Red Demon, so partial
Yeah,
credits.
That is true. That is true. And yeah, Mammoth back over to them, looking towards Caitlyn.
Yeah, I don't think Kaelin's the most likely in a first 2. You've seen the Aatrox, so they're going to go for the Jace here. They're going to follow the Aatrox most likely between all of the lanes, and they've immediately locked in an early game jungler to go with that Jace, and I feel like we know exactly what Mammoth are looking to do here, and that's try and speed run the OPL.
Yeah, welcome to Games Done Quick 2019 OPL edition. At least comes out here. And yeah, obviously a lot of early power. Stun, execute damage. Legacy, back into them, is going to be a Lovers Duo bottom lane.
No surprises really at this stage with Azaya Rakan, 2-3 on blue side. I think the only real surprise is that it wasn't touched from the other side of the rift, which is Mammoth, as they've just gone ahead and locked in some Gnar. There's going to be smiles from the Mammoth side, as of course they're just picking whatever they'd like, really, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good day for Mammoth overall. Won their second game, which locked them into second place. So
Yep.
0 chance of bombs catching up to them. So yeah, they can definitely be happy with today's results.
And you know, I've had some conversations with Denian on the flip side, and he does very clearly want to prove, you know, not just for him, definitely not just for him, but the players want to prove that they are still the real deal. You know, like, they're not the type of team where OCS players may be able to come up and take their spots. Like, they are here to stay as players. They've improved so much over the split, and I definitely believe that they have improved. It's just that they weren't able to find victories, and you know that's just the way it is.
That's the nature of the beast sometimes. And, you know, we've had the conversation many times, but this has been one of the most, if not the most competitive split in the OPL. You know, like such a big tie. The fact that like 4 teams were essentially tied up in the middle of the pack up until final week of play. Top side of the bracket, very similar. Like, the fact that we could have had second place essentially sniped out by Bombers, like very, very close split. So to be just a cut below the rest is not necessarily as bad as, you know, it would be in any other situation.
Waiting to see where Mammoth go next. You never really know. There's no point predicting. They've actually been hovering this all week, so
Finally
I
locked in.
suppose they've been cooking up their shapeshifter composition in our TFT.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is 4 shapeshifters. Oh, hang on.
Yeah. I was waiting to see where they go from, like, it was a shapeshifter start. This is, who was it? Rogue. Rogue said this is the basic. Like, you've mainstreamed your composition here.
Yeah,
so I reckon Rogue's going to have some words with Mammoth afterwards. He's like, what have you done? You've just gone for the easy option. That wasn't even hard to guess. Like, at least do pirates.
Yeah. I mean, can you go for a second synergy here?
What do they got?
No.
Beast.
Boring. It's wild, though, right?
Yeah, wild shapeshifters.
Wild shapeshifter.
Well, that's...
Could have gone Hextech
that's the
as
real
well.
bad wild. Yeah, they could have, but I don't think they'd have another shapeshifter. Is that all the shapeshifters?
All the shapeshifters? I mean, you only need shapeshifter 4, right? Isn't it?
Well, yeah, but is this all of them? Who
Or
are we
3,
missing?
rather.
Shyvana. We're missing Shyvana.
Ah, we got it from the TFT Fiends in production. Thank you very much.
And I think that's really where Mammoth went wrong here, because Nidalee is just a really bad shapeshifter and is all about early game.
Nidalee's great early game, though. Like,
Yeah,
you get
but,
a level 2
But
Nid.
like Nidalee's role, it's same with Elise to a degree, is to like just exist and be the
Until
buff
you are
until the better
replaced.
one comes through. And Shyvana is the better one.
Yep.
Here we are. Mammoth have all end on the early game with their summon.
Shyvana
Shapeshifter
wouldn't have
comp.
even been bad.
I guess it would.
No,
Shyvana
like
is always
full
bad.
AP Shyvana. Let's go.
There is.
You're good for 3 E's, and then I'll see you in about 90
If we're
seconds.
playing Arabs, it's perfect. We're in Summoner's Rift. I've seen some AP Shyvanas here and there, but highly unlikely that we'll ever see that in a competitive game for a little while. Maybe G2.
That's true. Getting into game, we do have Denian joining us, and we were just talking about, yes, this is a shapeshifter comp, but isn't this just weakness, really, from Mammoth? They could have gone much harder.
Well, it's not just shapeshifter. The thing is, they have 2 wild and 2 demon as well. I think.
That's true.
True.
Oh wait, no, they don't have 2 demon. I always get Swain confused.
Oh, yeah, Swain's noble,
Yeah.
isn't he?
No,
Not
he's
noble.
he's the other
imperial.
way.
He's imperial. Yeah, I always get him confused with the demon because he has the whole demon hand.
Is he
that's
not
true.
demon? Is he not
No, he's
3?
Well,
he's
he is
Imperial
3, but
shapeshifter, right?
it's imperial shapeshifter. Wait, is the 3rd demon?
He is demon,
yeah.
right?
Oh, he is
Demon. He
demon.
is
then.
demon. Yeah,
Alright,
you're right.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
They're running 3, right? And unfortunately we got 2 blade master. We didn't even finish it.
We have an exiled Blade
true.
Master,
Yeah.
so you know.
You can build into it.
I don't know. I feel like in terms of TFT, we have been hard out drafted.
What about in terms of League of Legends?
Well, in terms of League of Legends, I'm pretty happy, but I feel like I always am, so I'm not really sure how to feel about this, you know?
True.
Because it just, I thought we were going in for a game of League of Legends, but if we were going in for a game of TFT, then I've made some serious errors.
Was this
right?
discussed prior? Like, did Mammoth say they were doing this, or did you just...
No. They did not discuss it.
God, I feel like that's where
That's
they've gone really wrong, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we were told, we could have popped into a glacial comp.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what was our first pick? We could have just went 5 Blade Master, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would
But
be wild.
you know, we saw their first 2 picks, and we did not think they were doing shapeshifter. It
Yeah.
was,
Yeah,
it's,
we
it's
didn't
a
either.
hard read, you know.
It looked oddly standard for a second.
I mean, we looked into it. We saw Elise Jace, and we were thinking, you know what? They could just be playing triple Jace. It makes some sense. At least take it away from Guts. He's been playing it a lot lately.
Yeah.
All right, I guess maybe they want to win, and then they're
here
going
we are.
shapeshifter, and then you realize you've just been hard TFT outdrafted.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunate. If you could put a champion in TFT, what would it be? Because we just had Hextech join as well.
If I could put something in
Yeah.
right
any
now,
champion.
Any champion. Or any,
As
any
in-
subset as well.
as
if
in
you want
into our game specifically, so I can round out our comp, or into TFT the
to.
game.
Both. Let's go both.
All right. Well, into
Something.
this game, I think we would need another Blade Master. So what would be a good Blade Master, like 80 carrier support?
What are the Shen
ooh.
work?
Shen support?
Draven.
Is there another Blade Master that could...
There is Draven.
Yeah,
Could
just
go
a
Shen,
Draven.
Draven. Is there a jungler that's a Blade Master? Like, Camille's dead. Aatrox could go jungle, then Camille top.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
right.
run with that.
They did ban Camille, though.
He's
so
the Blade Master, Gangplank.
You've been counted.
Gangplank. Yeah, Gangplank. So that
Yeah.
could have been our composition. As for in TFT itself, I actually think that I would like Israel.
Ezreal?
Yeah, I'm not sure what they do
What
with
would
him.
he
Like,
be?
would
What
they
would
give
he
him his
be?
his ultimate, or would they give him his E and make him like Lucian?
You could have the W either as well and like just like bop someone.
Yeah.
Like a low
Just
mana
Give him Q.
W.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when I watch Camille and TFT, I feel like it's a lot more boring than I would have liked it to be. Because imagine if it was like a tier 4 unit and they used her actual ultimate,
Yeah.
and then she just smashed down and flew everyone to the
Or
side.
just-
Yeah.
that'd be
That'd
sick.
be I'd be like, this is my favorite character to play. I'm playing Blade Master every single time.
That's hype.
And then I also think about that for Gragas. But then I also think, for the same reason that I hate playing with Gnar in TFT, is that sometimes Gnar hard carries you,
Uh-huh.
and sometimes you lose a game because the tier 3 Garen was thrown into your like Jinx or whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes Misfortune decides to ult backwards and hit you. You never really know.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's really rough actually.
I like the Ezreal idea though.
I do. I just don't know what he would be.
I feel like
right?
he'd be his own unique
Would he be Hextech?
class.
Like
You do like
Is his
Hextech
goal a Hextech?
Explorer or something. Like, it'd be
It-
something
and he has his
different.
own thing.
it could be like Exile, yeah. Just
Yeah.
Oh,
what
like
would you
Exile.
give Explorer though?
Or if he moves into the enemy board space, he gets bonuses or something.
So then, like,
Oh,
it would have to
right.
be his E then if that
Yeah,
was
so
the,
to
the
reposition.
trade. Yeah. Because then he'd dash around like
There you
Lucian
go.
does.
We're designing.
Boom. There we
characters
go.
for the game.
Just nailed it.
We'll just call up Riot headquarters and go, guys, you have to put in Israel. He has to have the Explorer tag, and it's when he's on the enemy field.
Welcome to the TFT podcast.
That's all we're here for, really.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, fantastic. We had a small delay, but yeah, I'll just let you go. And thanks for joining
All
us.
right, thanks for having me. Have a good one.
All right, we'll have to explore how this works for those who aren't familiar with at least support, and that should be pretty much all of you.
Wow, yeah.
Except for those who have watched the LCK, and there was that 1 week
Yes.
where
I
Elise
remember.
support became a thing. Let's talk about some of the things Elise can do in that role before we move on to the many-rolled Swain. So one interesting thing is that in ranged form, she can auto-attack and then switch to melee, and then actually procs Relic. So
Yep.
you can last hit melee minions more effectively, cannons, etc. You can do it from range, which is, you know, the benefits of being a shapeshifter. As she has, you also run Aftershock. You also go Cocoon Max as fast as possible. You're a CDR-based stun bot. I mean, realistically, there's not a whole lot more you provide from that. You do have a lot of utility in outplay and percentage damage, but yeah, that's cool. There's
This is a little bit
Gus
awkward
is
here.
cracking on.
Gonna pounce to safety. Gus is not gonna chase here. But yeah, Babs definitely gets slapped in the jungle.
So that's Elise. Swain is, I think he's actually not that bad in the AD role anymore.
I mean, the pain lane used to be a thing.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, you probably wouldn't play it with an Elise, but Swain Fiddlesticks, I reckon could exist in competitive right now. And the thing that they've changed on Swain, as we're watching him trade still very well, I might add, is that he gets infinite scaling health basically now from his stacks. You no longer see the bar of 5 red stacks where he can pop his ultimate afterwards. Instead, he can just do that, and he gets infinitely scaling stacks from pulling someone back with the E. Oh, sorry, with the passive. So that's a really nice quality of life change for Swain. Yeah, that's all I've really got about Swain.
Yeah, fair.
Otherwise, I don't really want to see him. He's a nuisance.
Also, I feel like I've said this before, but Elise, you can throw out the volatile spelling. Oh, bottom lane getting caught out here. It's going to be a cocoon onto Appy. He flashes away. King following up as well. Not a lot of people taking a lot of damage, but here it is. Knock up onto 2. Appy low. First blood over to the Elise. Execute on Q. Kratos turning around, see if he can get something done. Lands the volatile spiraling. It will be the claw following after. And Destiny tanks the tower and 2 kills to the Shapeshifters.
Yeah, it was a 2v3 in the end. You know, Legacy played their heart out. They used all the summoners except for Ignite, but at the end, it's just a numbers advantage, and that's going to mean far too much. Guts is on the other side of the map currently, looking at what seems to be the Scuttle Crab he's just taken. May try and gank mid, but this is where we get to check out how vigilant is Triple. As not a lot, but he's managed to path the correct way.
Yeah, he's good. No worries. I want to see Destiny this game toss up volatile spiraling, transform Q, because then the spiraling will attach onto
Oh yeah,
his
because you
target.
can face Eater with a Spiderling.
Yeah, because the spiraling counts as a regular spiraling, which jumps to your Q target.
Yeah. which is great. You can throw your W backwards and then like go towards, say, a raptor camp, and it changes direction really aggressively.
It flies towards them, yeah.
There's one thing I like as an NBA fan, it's aggressive direction changing.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the champions are pretty standard, so. Do you have any fun facts about Jace?
About Jace? I once made a video with Benji on trade combos where I got to play the Jace and he had to play Teemo.
Okay.
But we
And he
also
was the punching
alternated
bag?
who was the Teemo and who was the Jace, I believe.
Okay.
It was cool. We learned a lot about, well, sorry, we didn't learn. We taught a lot of people about like optimal trade patterns on Champion Jace when you've got 6 spells. It's hard to do.
Well, missing the cocoon there. Still on to Praetor. Will get the kill. Babbitt, the recipient. Now drinking into the brush, but Guts is here. Wants to kill the enemy jungle. Takes him out. King moving up the river here. It will be a cocoon once again. Locks onto the bottom laner. Paprise gets the kill. Topoon also finds himself in bottom lane. Nice luck up there from Appy.
He's about to hit Mega though, so he should be okay. He's able to press W, get some health back if they continue to chase him, and now he's just going to absolutely chat it up in the bottom lane. He's only level 5 and the game has been paused again. It seems that he thought he was 6.
Yeah.
No, that's not why.
Don't have ult.
Well,
Here we are.
yeah. What do you talk about in a game that...
He's gone. He's dead.
Who's dead? Oh, well. Is he dead? Oh, no, he's back. He's back.
He's
Micro
alive.
sleep. Don't drive, King. Don't drive home.
Micro sleep.
Have you ever micro slept while playing games?
Me?
Yeah, just like nodded off for like a half second and realized.
Yeah, but back when I was playing like RTS games, never when I've been playing like FPS or MOBA. Because sometimes you're just caught in the motions of like early base setup, and
Yeah.
you just autopilot, and then you like 2 minutes disappear, and you're like, oh, it's 5 minutes, I should be mobilizing. You know, sometimes you'll just autopilot through that.
Absolutely, and that's why when it's late at night and you're playing, hopefully not ranked, you should play different champions. Because they're different to what
Yeah.
you're used to, and you have to actually think. So you're not going to have micro sleeps and into your games away. There you go. People usually pay me for that advice.
You get that one for free. Or just don't play when you're tired.
Yeah, which is the actual advice.
Yeah.
Is just don't play when you're tired.
Back when I was like trying to climb, it would be 3 wins stop or 2 losses stop, and then you like only trend upwards.
Yeah, I've also found that like even after one loss, if it was a bad one, you know, like a game
Yeah.
that you were 10-0, you're upset that you lost, just stop. Just disappear for a bit, you know?
Yeah.
Go outside.
Yeah,
cook some
do
dinner,
anything.
Leave your screen.
Because there's very few players who like rage play well, you know.
Get it, Paprise. That was the
That was a
crane
good stretch.
pose.
Yeah, that was. I rewatched The Matrix recently. That's exactly what
Yeah.
Trinity would do. Every single film, they had to just put it in.
Yeah, it was a great movie. Great movies
It
until
was
the
1
third.
and 2. Yeah, not bad.
You forget the third existed, actually.
Yeah, I
for
mean,
good
I'd committed,
reason.
and I was half of me wanted to be like, maybe I just don't watch it, and just pretend it doesn't exist, like the second half of Sword Art, and then just pretend it was just a good, it was a good series. But I watched it, and it was a disaster.
Those poor movies. You never want to end a trilogy with the worst one, but I always feel like that's how it works. Because it's so much easier to set up and build the story. But like once you've built for so long, you have to end
And
eventually.
you missed the follow-up, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, missed follow-up in the bottom lane, perhaps. Paprise gets stunned by the wallop. Destiny backing away on all 8 legs. And King making his way up the river, but not long for this world. This Swain is very dead.
You can see all the hard work from the crane posing of Paprise paying off there. He's able to get some better trades down in the bottom lane, but Mammoth were a large part of wanting to do those. As unfortunately for them, yeah, I mean, Topoon's honestly just a bottom laner now. They've actually flipped the map, and King teleported and died, so he's probably just going to walk top. And this is where we're at.
Cool.
Australian lanes.
True Australian lanes. Gonna have a recall out here. There's the roller skin again.
How many?
What's your signature, Rusty? I haven't seen your. I don't think I've ever seen your signature.
Mine is not good.
Is it better than rulers? Because I feel like that's the bar.
Well,
that we're
yes,
talking about
because
here.
I can write in English, which helps a lot. No, I remember, I feel like in primary school there was a certain year where everyone was like, I need a signature now.
Right,
Because my mum
yeah.
made me a bank card or like whatever it is.
Yeah, and you need it for something.
Yeah. So I just made a really bad one and I've just kept it for no reason.
I mean, to be fair, like I think all signatures are like to a degree. Ooh, that was a nice one. bad, right? Like they're essentially just scribbles that only you can scribble.
Unless
that's
you're
the whole
doing
point.
like calligraphy and you're just a god of writing and you make your signature look fantastic.
I mean, Trevor, quick shot in the LEC. He is a very try-hard signature.
Does he?
Very
Oh,
try-hard.
he's a sweaty,
Also happy
sweaty
birthday.
signer.
Yeah, the sweatiest. Because sometimes, you know, we would like sign cards or whatever and then give them out.
Yeah.
And it would always be his like slap
Well,
bang in
okay,
the middle.
that's the question. Do you have different signatures? Because I
Do
do.
I?
I definitely do.
Well, I have one for like, you know, Pulse and one for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, like
you know?
the one for the word rusty is just the word rusty.
Half-Rise, it doesn't matter if you're in a shapeshifter game, he's still just getting bullied in the top lane.
He thinks
But he'll
it's
laugh
funny.
it off, it's fine. Yeah, but I don't want people literally like copy and pasting my real
Yeah,
signature,
exactly.
right?
But I was answering it like my real signature. My
Yeah.
league one.
Have you ever signed like official documentation with your rusty signature by mistake?
No. I have the one thing that I've often done with like, say I'm like trying to get a visa, I have like official documentation. It asks for my date of birth. I did today's date.
Yeah.
I do that
yeah, yes.
so often.
Yeah, I think that's like an everyone problem.
Yeah.
Well,
But
so
then
many times
the opposite as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
what is today's date that you've done
you
this?
write your
Well, my
date of birth.
birthday.
Especially when you're trying to give it over phone as well. That's where I always mess up because like they'll be like, "What's your birthday?" And I'm like, It's not. It's one of those things that you don't think about. Half-Rise looking for this contest onto blue buff, and Babbitt is well and truly shoved out of the jungle.
You know, while we're derailed, I may as well continue this conversation because I'm just interested in continuing it. So too bad. The things like waking up in the morning and just not having your brain on, to me, are fascinating and hilarious at the same time.
Yeah, right.
Like, the other day, and I do this far too often to care to admit it, but like, I'll have cereal, because Chaz is just in a bit of trouble here. Destiny's going to kill him.
Get the lifestyle.
So like, say I have cereal, I grab my milk, grab my spoon,
Cereal choice?
grab my bowl, grab my cereal. Right now I
Weetabix?
have... No, absolutely not. They're not good for you.
Rolled oats,
Yeah, Weet-Bix aren't good for you. They just fill your stomach with
Oh.
nothing. It just fills
like
it.
cardboard.
Yeah, it's like eating cardboard. Oats are the way to go with fruit.
Rolled oats in a smoothie.
Not in a smoothie, but you could. I like the eating from a bowl. Wakes me up.
Right.
But yeah, the other day I grabbed my milk out, grabbed my cereal out, and then I put my milk in the cupboard. And then like realized as I was doing it, I was like, what am I doing? But, like that happens a lot.
Yeah,
'Cause it's just the
autopiloting
morning,
the morning.
yeah.
And sometimes I like won't remember. Like I'll do that and walk out of the house and come back in the evening, and then just find the milk in the
That's
cupboard.
bad.
Yeah. Then your milk's just doomed.
Yeah, then your milk's mook.
You just burn the whole cupboard. Especially
Finding a
with the
spider.
protein shake. Yeah, people who don't clean their protein shake bottles immediately after use.
You have to. Stinky
Animals.
boys. That's another gym fun fact for you that I'm sure Hingers didn't want to tell you, but everyone does it at least once. Damn, never leave anything in a protein
No.
shake.
Otherwise, you literally just blow it up. And then you use it again. One of the wing peaks for me here from Legacy. Herald's already down though. And I think Babbitt would probably just pounce the wall and just get out of here. So, Mammoth, the only reason if they want to fight is if they want to fight.
Yeah. Chaz's Yasuo was an absolute raid boss now that I think on it. A little while ago, Legacy played a game where he was the only Fed member and he legitimately did just 1v9 the game away. So, it'll be exciting to see how he does. If he
Yeah.
can mechanics max his way through a game.
You know, Chaz has picked a lot of carries recently. Seen a lot of Yasuo /
He's the assassin guy, so
Akali. Yeah.
never be surprised to see carries from him. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, that's my ward dead. Topoon in the bottom lane. He's going to headbutt this tower a little. Was not the first champion with a unique tower hit animation. It's that question in a second. Chaz is going to toss out the Q here. And we'll actually just go for the engage here, Appy. Cripple taking a lot of damage. Kite's back, turns it around though, and King walking into this mid lane. Oh! Stopwatches the Gragas ultimate. Cops the Q.
Babbitt may try and hunt here.
He was slowed. Oh, he flashes for it. Follows up the Q pounce.
Connected, he might follow this one. No body slam.
Underneath tower, perfect timing on the cocoon, stunned. Gets a lot of health back and finds the shutdown.
Legitimately just entered his support player. Like, they're laughing about it, but 100% Babbitt just got his support killed. Like, that is a stopwatch jungler that could have actually contributed damage to that,
Yep.
but he chooses not to. Just walks away and says, good luck, buddy.
Just stood mid, taking that tower. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Nah, first champion with unique power animation. Was Nah before or after Braum? Because Braum has one, right? Before.
Before.
So maybe Braum.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Like, my timeline of when champions were released in League of Legends, all over the place. Like, I was told the other day, like, Diana 7 years ago. Like,
yeah.
I have zero concept of that.
Diana's 2 years old. Don't lie to me.
King getting caught out here. Goes to stopwatch, and the rest of the team just leaves.
Seems like a trend starting to build here for Mammoth.
Yeah.
The battle of the baits. We'll see.
You build your boat, you ride in it.
We're playing a game of Survivor on the Summoner's Rift here.
There will only be one left.
King was voted off the island.
Literally, the only thing I know about Survivor is that one clip of the guy who screamed. Like, I haven't watched any.
You and Bryce. I reckon Bryce is similar.
See, this is the thing, right? Because, like, Bryce cops a lot of it as, like, the young one of the cast. But I think my, like, pop culture knowledge is, like, approximately the same as Bryce's. But I just, like, have the right knowledge in the right places where I can, like, cover up for it.
Well, you also are an expert derailer. So, like,
Exactly.
someone will say, do you know this mainstream reference from the movie Blues Brothers? And you'll be like, well, there's an anime like that.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
They're like, you can't contest me on this
Yeah.
knowledge because you don't have it.
Bryce will hit you with a, literally, no idea. Yep. Sorry,
I mean, that's a lot of politics though, right? You just derail as hard as possible.
We're not going to talk about politics of the OPL.
And mid lane's down. There you go. Mammoth are still leading this game.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us at 14 minutes in the game, this game means nothing. Mammoth have built a TFT composition, and Legacy are having a lot of fun with the game as well. Lots of laughs to be seen between these players, and that's why we're discussing the most random things while the players are fighting.
It's going to be a real nice last prep, though, from Chaz. And actually, Mammoth might just get wiped here. Praetor just rotated from the mid lane. Triple gets called out. That's just another Steel Tempest finding 2, and a shutdown onto Triple. That was a big swing there to Legacy.
Yeah, definitely a lot of kills going over to them. King once again finds himself dead. Sway not having the best time on Summoner's Rift and really skewing the stats of this champion globally through its win rate potentially, or at least its performances. The rest of Mammoth still okay. Nidalee's put in a lot of work, obviously, and Babip is actually a Nidalee player, so don't be too shocked to see him just popping off, even though this is a for fun type of composition. He's from Queensland too.
Who is?
Babip.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know all the Queensland players?
Well, I've worked in Origin for a couple of years.
Yeah, right.
so
That's why I asked.
Yeah. Babip, Paprise, 2, Chaz as well, actually. I think that's all the Queenslanders in this game.
I did Origin
Anywhere after.
2017.
Yeah,
yeah,
you were
one.
when the OPL was still in Australia.
Yeah. And yeah, I think all of the imported casters all supported New Zealand.
Yep. You were the Switzerland of the casting team, which happens to be New Zealand in that.
Yeah. I forget who won that year.
I believe it was New South Wales.
I just know that Spawn came last.
Yeah, it was New South Wales.
Yeah.
Spawn did not come last. Queensland didn't win a game. But
It's going to be stunned onto Gragas. And he's just super dead. Wait. So did Spawn win?
no,
No.
he came second, and then
Came
they won the
second.
second year of Origin,
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Why am I misremembering that?
Because Spawn lost in the finals.
Right, maybe. Yeah, Paprise. He's going to farm this one up. Triple. Going to look for this 1v1. Shock Blast combo. Running back to tower. Going to be Ignite ticking. Flash, auto attack, and he's just straight up dead. Triple. Last tower shot's not going to finish him off. And that will be it. So, yeah, Mammoth just trading kills back and forth. I mean, we're very not objective focused in this game whatsoever. So it's just going to be kills back and forth. And we'll see who just comes up trumps in a late game team fight. But, yeah, your guess is as good as mine on who's going to win this game. It'll be Chaz looking for that Q. Lands it into the last breath combo. Harpoon tries to hit him with a wallop, and now Chaz just on the run. Turns around, back with the Steel Tempest. Always gets the kill onto Destiny. Did have the stopwatch. And does not get the outplay.
Yeah, more kills going over to Mammoth this time, but it's in their territory, so they defend the fort pretty well. So unfortunately for Chaz, while he's getting himself to 100% crit, he's going to have to go down. We find ourselves, I'm going to say, at a period in this game, 17 minutes in, where really nothing should happen for the next few minutes.
Yeah, but you're also analyzing that like a real analyst.
I am,
whereas
because
like
I was speaking to my producer and I didn't know what you were talking about for the last 30 seconds, Richard.
have a good chat.
Yeah, I had a very good chat. We were talking about Soul Strikes.
Oh, cool.
Can't tell you what it was about.
Oh,
That's a secret.
trade secret.
So yes, if I sounded like a real analyst for a second, it's because I didn't hear a single word you said.
Quick, with default to cast the basics.
We've just gone behind the scenes here of what do I say when there's nothing to say.
Yeah. Sometimes when you hear a cast, they say something incredibly generic.
Did you
it's because
expose
they
me
were-
on purpose?
Me? Yeah, not at all. Triple getting caught on this mid lane. Gonna be a big dash coming in from that spear. Good flash to the wall. Wow, that was electrocute proc coming out from Triple and the transform damage.
They're still looking. Destiny's just got like a 4-second cooldown on his cocoon, so don't be surprised to see just things thrown. That's actually, like, that's low-key one of the best things about Mammoth's composition is they can just throw stuff at you until it hits.
That's true.
While it
Why
is
is it that
yeah.
shapeshifters all have like a single ability they just chuck?
I think it's because they do shift shapes into something more impactful, right? So like step 1 for Nidalee is hit the spear, you just throw them until it hits. Step 2 is execute. For Jace, I think it's like be ranged and like throw ranged specific spells and then execute with melee. Similar with Elise, right?
Yeah, Elise. You got
I think it's
Boomerang
just,
from
that's
Gnar.
just what a shapeshifter does. Is there like shapeshifters in any other thing in the world?
Thing in the world.
that
You
I
mean
can
like
compare these
in
to?
real life, as in like animals, or are you
Not in
talking
real
about like
life,
games?
but I guess some mythological, like
Oh,
fantasy worlds.
I mean, sure, right? Like a lot of things.
Like I'm sure
Werewolves, for
a
example.
werewolf in human
vampires.
form could just like slander you, right? And just make you angry and then just execute.
Sure, druids.
Don't they just summon things to do the work for you?
Well, they transform into animals as well, right?
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
the whole
true. Depends on what you're looking at, I suppose. We're not going to discuss specific games, I guess. One of my favorite games of
Yesterday
all
was
time
the,
has some sick druids.
Yesterday was the one day where we could announce other game titles.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember to join us at MEO. That'll be happening in just 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, don't be like Hingers. Save the date. August 31st.
Save the date.
In the best city in Victoria.
Yeah, genuinely excited. Justin's making his way towards the top lane. We'll have a live studio audience, which is something that we don't get on the regular here at the OPL. Makes a huge difference for everyone involved, players, casters, and the audience experience.
It's a good time to get excited. Everyone wants to get excited about video games. It's the perfect platform for anyone from Oceania to attend and multiple different titles.
Or just video games in general, yeah, for any esport. There's all types of stuff on the show.
I'm happy to sit here and continue just talking about how cool MEO is.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be my first. Yeah, very excited. And I believe we have the Sunday off, so we can just go view,
We do have the Sunday off.
view some finals.
No idea what I know there's a TFT area, so I might just go smack around some noobs that wanted to find out what TFT is. I'm just gonna try hard.
I mean, I
father
heard
on the
there was
children.
I heard there was a TFT area or like a league area. So I don't know if that's like a tournament that I can join
I don't know.
or no.
Whatever
It
it is, I'm
does
gonna win.
Sign me up.
I'm spending Sunday being a winner, Richard. A winner.
Also, heavily dispute Hingens being able to beat me in an arm wrestle. Happy goes for the initiate here. Transform by
Cocoon
King.
hits.
Everybody's transforming left and right. Turning on to Paprise, he was just in the wrong area. And Legacy going to turn this one around, chucks out the feathers. And yeah, that was a bit of a skirmish. Just flirting with the idea of fighting everybody caught in the visions of Empire. Praetor looks like he's going to drop here as well, and Guts going to get chased down. All of a sudden, the Shapeshifter comp has just turned online. Got the itemization.
Yeah, they've turned it on. They finally hit enough skill shots in their ranged forms, and they've decided to execute their opponents. A flash ultimate there from Topoon as he hits Mega on his Gnar.
I'll be honest, that kind of played out like a TFT game. Everyone
Topoon finds
transforms
enough
and just
mana.
wipes them, yeah.
Yeah, it really did play like a TFT game.
I was just asked by production, what are you doing tomorrow? That's a good point, because with the first game of the day going over to the Dire Wolves, no tiebreakers.
the type of question that I'm really thankful they asked you and not me.
Well, see, like, I was going to do the D&D game tomorrow because I was like,
Yeah.
tiebreaker's probably going to happen. I was told for weeks, like, pretty much going to happen.
Well,
Not going to happen now.
You know, my
what do
schedule's
we
freed
do?
up.
Where are we going to... Because now we've got to bring everyone in because we all live in different places. Can't fly spawn out. It's
Well,
all
yeah,
ruined.
actually, I don't know what you do.
Yeah. Game over.
You don't want to do it online.
No. Not at all.
Why don't we just do a one-shot at MEO?
There we go. There we go. It's a segment now.
It's
Yeah.
if,
Let's do an entire game in 10 minutes.
if you made the setting in Runeterra, I'm sure you could consider that as a possibility. Well, you do it pre-game, like, instead of NPL or something,
Sure, yeah.
right? Like, just get in there early. Like, I don't know
D&D
what time the
pre-show.
game started at
Not a
MEO.
bad
but
idea.
Say we just rock up at 9 a.m.
Or after
as
hours.
doors open. Yeah, you know what? There you go.
After hours D&D game.
LCK viewing party, NPL TNT.
Sounds good to me.
Definitely going to be
I'm just
watching
waiting for another
LCK.
reason to steal it.
I won't be there. There's a big CS difference between junglers. Like, I'd like to see the gold difference actually between these junglers.
Oh, thank you.
Dirty. That's all.
That's
Dirty.
the end. The end of analysis.
What am I analyzing? False. What am I analyzing?
I know. What are your ratios in the gym right now? What are your compounds?
I'm
Are they match
actually.
hangers? Because apparently
No,
he's
I'm
just the
not- I'm not
biggest man
pushing
on
max.
The OPL now.
I'm not doing strength training. I'm
Just maintenance.
well form check and maintenance. So, like, I'm working on my squats primarily at the moment.
Uh-huh.
I'm maintaining my deadlift, so like 130. Squats, I am at 80, but I was at 100 for 3, so
Not bad.
back down to 80 with form, so that's good. Means I should be able to hit 120 hopefully. Big Gnarl.
Big flank. Big Nara ultimate. On top of it, it's just so damn tanky. Just stood in front of the entire Legacy lineup, just tanking all this damage and redemptions. Pretty big 2-for-1 trades,
Might
and
just
Mammoth are now
end.
pushing into the base.
There's a chance
Honestly,
they
this has
end
been
here.
a pretty expedient game. This is 24 minutes, and the Shapeshifter comp has moved their way into the bottom lane. We'll drop the inhib, and with the Baron buff of minions, we'll probably just look for the game. Guts is regenerating a fountain. Trade for an Appy,
Oh,
just
grab
disappears. We should play Nidalee all the time.
I think he just threw a spear, flash bounced before the spear hit the X. That was sick.
I mean,
That was
ultimately,
genuinely sick.
Legacy had to play down in this one. They weren't given prior notice this would be a TFT game, so only with one synergy, not really able to do the goods. But they'll try their best. The two Blade Masters route the buff, jump onto Mammoth, and unfortunately do not have the damage. The Shapeshifters have turned online. However, with the spawn pad buff, Praprise is 1v3ing.
He's healing so much with the small buff and his ultimate on. They just can't get him.
He's still
back to
alive. The
full.
raid bus. Oh, Tryhard Destiny just ends the game. Knew he wouldn't be able to face Praprise with the fountain buff, and Mammoth will take the win.
That moment perfectly summarizes being a support main. The game, the Nexus is at 400 HP, and you know full well all of your carries that could one-hit that Nexus are going to dive the fountain. You do 20 damage a hit, you're like, alright, give me 8 attacks, guys, I'll end it, because you're all a bunch of nitwits. Destiny does try hard at the end of the game there.
Yeah. Yes, he does.
That was a
I'm
bad
sad
one.
there wasn't prior notice for Legacy to draft themselves their own composition right there. Because Denian's right. Like, I didn't realize that was a shape of comp until we came to
Well,
third,
yeah.
fourth pick, and it was like, oh, I see what's happening here.
4 picks in, we discovered their secret strategy that they somehow won the game in 25 minutes against Isaiah, Ricard, Yasuo, Krakus combo. Like, why not, you know? Just mammoth things, really. I don't think there is another team that could really just win that fast with such weird picks, but those weird picks are things that they're very good at.
Yeah, there you go. And I feel like we have to fold the foldy sheet just because it's getting very difficult now.
How many
'cause
folds
this
are
is
we at?
Like 6.
Yeah, damn, that's...
There we go.
Thank God the person who does origami is folding
Boom.
these sheets.
There we go. Down to the last 2. You can do the final one. And then we have Bombers Chiefs to end the day.
Yeah, and Bombers and Chiefs, I don't think there is too much on the line for that either, but we'll see exactly where they go. I know Rogue told us in an interview that they might do TFT comps, but he said that's pretty mainstream, so shame on you, Mammoth.
Yeah.
We'll see where they choose to go.
Well, we have one game left today, so we're going to toss to a quick break. When we get back, we'll be gearing up for our final game of the day. throughout the volatile spying. Oh, bottom lane getting caught out here. It's going to be a cocoon onto Appy. He flashes away. King following up as well. Not a lot of people taking a lot of damage, but here it is. Knock up onto 2. Appy low. First blood over to the Elise. Execute on Q. Kratos turning around, see if he can get something done. Lands the volatile spiraling. It will be the claw following after. Destiny takes the tower and 2 kills. Hing's being able to speak in an arm wrestle. Appy goes for the initiate here. Transformed by King.
Hits.
Everybody's transforming left and right. Turning onto Paprise, he was just in the wrong area. And Legacy going to turn this one around, tricks out the feathers. And yeah, that was a bit of a skirmish, just flirting with the idea of everybody caught in the visions of Empire. Kratos looks like he's going to drop here as well, and Guts going to get chased down. All of a sudden, the Shapeshifter comp is just turned online. We'll probably just look for the game. Guts is regenerating a fountain. Kratos and Appy just disappears. He's just playing Nidalee all the time.
I think he just threw a spear, flash bounced before the spear hit the X. That was sick.
I mean,
That was
ultimately,
genuinely sick.
Legacy had to play down in this one. They weren't given prior notice this would be a TFT game, so only with 1 synergy, not really able to do the goods. But they'll try their best. The 2 Blade Masters go out the buff, jump onto Mammoth, and unfortunately do not have the damage. The Shapeshifters have turned online. However, with the Spawn Pad buff, Paprise is 1v3ing.
He's healing so much with the spawn buff and his ultimate on. They just can't get him.
He's still alive. The raid bus. Oh, Tryhard Destiny just ends the game.
A little goes a long way at Macca's. Enjoy a delicious small cheeseburger meal with your choice of an apple or raspberry and custard pie for just $4.
Welcome back to week 10 of the OPL. We're in our second last game of the split.